What's up, everybody? I'm King Sway, and welcome to King Sway. I was about to say King Sway Adventures. Maybe that's a channel I need to start. King Sway Entertainment. Yeah, I've been wanting to say King Sway Adventures lately, so we probably gonna do something like that. Like that might be another thing to do. But with that match out my mouth and said, today we have Deku versus Asta, My Hero Academia versus Black Clover, the death battle. I haven't seen it. It's been out as of this recording. It's been out for 2 days. I'm going to say Deku. I watch both anime. I'm not caught up. I'm not going to lie. I catch up on things here and there when I can. As I said before, I work a lot. That's why I have irregular postings. But what we're going to do is jump into this.
By Mint Mobile and BetterHelp. Deku, My Hero Academia's super student, straight out of UA High. Asta, the anti-magical lamp picker from Black Clover. Though you may be born bereft of the same gifts as your peers, there is nothing stopping you from achieving your dreams.
Me and Sentinel are two different people.
As long as you're a fictional character in a fantasy world. I mean, as long as you've got your friends by your side.
The power of friendship.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick. And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Izuku Midoriya wanted only one thing from life: to be a beacon of hope, just like his idol, the #1 ranked superhero in Japan, All Might. Too bad he was born a freak with no powers. You heard right. This is like a reverse X-Men thing where 80% of the population gets rad superpowers, or quirks as they're called, while the remaining fifth are stuck as basic bitches, or as his spiky-haired bully Bakugo called him, Deku. That's a pun on the Japanese word dekunobu, meaning good for nothing. Persevering despite his basic bitchedness, Midoriya got the chance to prove his quirkless heroic battle against this giant sludge monster, much to the surprise of one particular almighty onlooker.
Which is ironic because I had a chick get mad at me at my job, and she was like, "He ain't nothing but a 5'2" midget. He'll take your heathen ass on home."
Didn't want just anybody. The hero world was filled with glory seekers in it for fame and money. All Might wanted someone whose body moved on its own to save someone. He saw exactly
literally what it says in like the first episode,
and gave him one of the most powerful quirks in the world: one for all. That was the problem. Even after bulking up from lad to Chad, the recoil from even one punch would shatter all the bones in his arm.
Because he was stupid.
To be able to handle his gift at the superhero
he put all the energy into one limb instead of equally distribution to be able to hold the power.
Used as a cudgel against him for so many years. Turns out, Deku can also be an abbreviation for Dekiru, someone who can do anything. Exactly the opposite of Dekunobu. One for All allows Deku to release absolutely absurd amounts of strength from different parts of his body, with super moves named after US cities and states. Deku still can't access all of his power safely though. Using 100% will quickly destroy his body, which is why he learned to distribute his strength evenly across his body, a technique known as full cowling. This lets him increase his speed and durability as well, making him more all-rounded and shifting focus to
his
you
can actually use your power and not die.
His pal Ida, shoot style, where he pulls out a Glock and blows your brains out. Okay, not really, but in keeping with One for All's rabbit theme, he trades All Might's signature punches for kicks. My version's better. You ever seen Rabbit vs. Gun? I have, and I know how it plays out. Considering the much higher muscle mass of a human's legs, shoot style allowed Deku to output even more power while giving his arms a break. A break from
breaking.
A break. And despite being a classic melee build, Deku can fight at range by punching powerful gusts of air, and even precisely aim them with specially designed gloves. Deku has an encyclopedic knowledge of quirks, and is always analyzing their strengths and weaknesses mid-battle, even if he does sound a little weird. Despite only barely getting accepted in the first place, Deku quickly became one of Class 1A's most dependable fighters. Because, yeah, somehow these students are constantly getting drafted into literal wars against murderous supervillains.
Yeah, right from the door. I love
just, man, shit. Stain, Muscular, and Overhaul came much to his old bully's chagrin. Where Bakugo was a child prodigy, he now found himself overshadowed by his hard-working rival, and the two would use their mutual respect and animosity to motivate each other to get stronger.
Naruto and
Classic
Sasuke.
frenemies. They're only solving their problems by pounding the living tar out of each other.
Luckily for him, Deku soon learned that living tar pounding wasn't the only thing he could do. Turns out, One for All did not originate with All Might. It had been passed down 8 times until it arrived at Deku, with each inheritance also carrying the previous user's natural quirk as well.
Like Black Whip, which lets him manifest crazy long and
Spider-Man.
strong energy tendrils to tie enemies up and swing around the city, or shoot one out of his mouth, just like our girl Fruppy.
And Danger Sense, which gives him a
Spider
minor
Sense.
reactive precognition.
AKA, he's Spider-Man.
What'd I
Not
say?
even a reach. The mangaka is like the biggest Spidey
I was
fan
about to say,
ever.
yeah, I already know he's
Screen to
a
mask his presence, float in midair,
a fan
or
of
slide
actual
energy
American
with
comics.
fudge.
He builds up kinetic power,
Like that.
and once he builds it up,
By
releases it.
storing up enough, he can even match All Might's max power without any recoil to boot. Strong enough to change the weather and create city block-sized tornadoes with a single punch.
And he's even stronger with his newest quirk, Gear Shift, which allows him to increase the speed of an object anytime he touches it. In conjunction with the power of All for One, he can use this to warp reality itself. Deku can go toe-to-toe with arch-villains like Shigaraki, who's fast enough to react to and catch laser beams with his bare hands.
But nothing could prepare him for All Might's archenemy, the shadowy leader of the League of Villains, All for One.
All Might only ever showed his young pupil kindness and support, but that couldn't change the absolutely crushing pressure Deku felt at every moment.
Even classically trained dickhead Bakugo came to help his teammate out when he needed it. Like when they teamed up to share One for All and punch an island-sized hole in the clouds 24 miles high.
Just goes to show that even One for All isn't a one-man army. Deku's true strength comes from his teamwork between himself and his friends.
He wrecked his entire class single-handed. It was all of them against him, and he wrecked them all. And he was
One
tired and
One
hungry.
for all, man.
He'd been up and ain't eating and like, get the fuck out of here.
This episode is sponsored by Mint Mobile.
This holiday season, the best deal in wireless can only be found at Mint Mobile.
Right now, when you switch to Mint Mobile and buy any 3-month plan, you'll get another 3 months for free.
As the first company to sell premium wireless service online only, Mint Mobile lets you order and activate from home with eSIM, while saving tons on phone plans starting at just $15 a month. We all know the holidays can be a huge money sink. In my case, my anti-squirrel lawn laser system won't insure itself, so Mint Mobile's buy 3 months, get 3 months free plan is perfect to cut down costs.
Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and switch easily and effortlessly with eSIM.
Or if you need a new device for a limited time, get 6 months for free service when you buy a select device and plan.
Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month.
For a limited time, buy any 3-month Mint Mobile plan and get 3 more months free by going to mintmobile.com/deathbattle. That's mintmobile.com/deathbattle.
Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/deathbattle.
Magic! You know it, you love it, and in the world of Black Clover, it doesn't come from a box you bought at a tacky West Hollywood costume shop. Everyone's got it.
Mana is the source of all magic, a supernatural energy found in the air and in living beings. Except living beings whose names are Asta.
Not only was the young Asta an orphan
Shit,
abandoned by
he's even
his mother
shorter
at a
than
church
that.
as a baby, he was born with a mutation that
Deku's
prevents him
taller
from
than him,
having any
and
mama
younger.
to speak of. Well, neither do I, and you don't hear me crying about it.
Yes, you do, all of the time. But Asta had a dream. Despite his lack of magic, he and his best friend Yuno promised each other one of them would rise to the throne of the greatest military position in the land, the Wizard King. Wizard King? Really, guys? Sometimes they call it Magic Emperor, but we all know what they mean.
So he dedicated himself to getting swole as all hell in a world of nerds. He would be its lone jock god, shoving
I like the way he
every
puts
last
this.
wizard into a locker until they crowned him king.
But huge, frightening pectorals on a tiny, screaming goblin child weren't enough on its own. He needed something powerful enough to shut down his opponent's magic.
He needed the 5-leaf Clover Grimoire.
Essentially a book of spells, a grimoire will choose its user and float beside their wielder at all times.
And Asta was lucky enough to receive the Uno Reverse card of Grimoires. The 5-leaf Clover can harness the power of anti-magic, which will literally nullify the effects of other magic spells. Almost like Wizard Kryptonite. Let the locker stuffing commence! Haha, get nerds?
It wasn't long before Asta was accepted into one of the 9 squads of Clover Kingdom's Magic Knights, the Black Bulls, filled with lazy drunkards, antisocial otakus, and literal sociopaths.
My kind
And
of people.
shapeshifters.
Yep, mostly. But much like with Asta, you shouldn't judge a grimoire by its cover. And soon they were all working together and kicking ass like a family should.
Asta harnesses the power of anti-magic by summoning swords imbued with it from the grimoire. Normally, these swords would quickly drain the mana from anyone foolish enough to wield them, but Asta does not have any mana, turning his greatest weakness into a one-of-a-kind strength.
He's got his classic Demon Slayer, an enormous greatsword which cuts through spells with its edge and deflects them with its flat. Or the Demon Dweller, which can also absorb and copy magic, then toss it right back to sender.
I think my personal favorite is the more complex Demon Destroyer, which severs the relationship between a spell's cause and effect, countering the effects of its magic. This could result in anything from healing a village that was inflicted with poison to preventing reincarnation.
Yeah, okay, some of these can get a little heady. I personally prefer keeping it simple, like using anti-magic telekinesis to surf on your sword through the sky.
It's worth noting that these swords are made specifically for countering magical attacks and sources of mana. The swords will act as though blunted when striking non-magical foes, more akin to giant clubs than actual blades. Not entirely inconsistent with real-life greatswords.
But none of that's even close to as cool as his deadliest sword, the Demon Slasher, a katana as black as the pits of hell and twice as badass.
This one actually does cut like a sword, but it's complicated. It lets Asta actually select what he does and does not want to cut, only affecting his target while leaving anything else unharmed.
Okay, at this point, isn't that just magic?
Magic with a loophole.
And he studied the blade long enough to become a master swordsman to boot.
Yeah,
Not the real life
Captain
sense,
Yami.
in the anime sense.
He can spin himself like a tornado to deflect magic spells, thrust forward at top speed like a charging bull, launch a barrage of anti-magic projectiles, and even channel anti-magic into his swords to vastly increase their size.
Well, while he may be no good with mana, he has learned to detect ki. Because, of course,
The life force existing in all things, Asta can detect hidden opponents and even predict their movements ahead of time, as long as he's fast enough to react.
with such crazy powers, Asta was taking on threats like the Eye of the Midnight Sun, the Devil Zagrid, and the Dark Triad. So many nerds, never enough lockers. Too bad for Asta, though. He had one serious inner demon.
Literally, housed within the five-leaf clover grimoire was Liba, a demon exiled from hell for completely lacking magical powers, and who just so happened to get adopted by Asta's mother.
Until he got possessed by a different demon and killed her. Vowing vengeance on all demon kind, Liba manifested anti-magic from his hatred as a way to kick their asses. Which gave him and Asta a lot of common ground, despite the whole, mom murder thing.
In fact, the two became true brothers and formed an unstoppable duo. Liba can actually fully merge with Asta for a massive power boost that lasts up to 5 minutes, at the cost of leaving Asta nearly powerless for the next half hour.
Come on, I want it. Yeah, I'll take it if I get to be strong enough to slice buildings to pieces, obliterate huge chunks of earth, and tear the most powerful demons apart. Give me the goddamn book. I'm the book boy, okay?
Even characters earlier in the series like Patoli had magic capable of completely vaporizing the entire Clover Kingdom in a single attack. And demons that Asta has fought since then like Dante and Lucifero are leagues stronger.
Hell, screw all these demon forms and anti-magic powers. Asta's body is so incredibly well trained, he dodged a beam of light while sleeping. As in, he was asleep, and the force of his sneeze pushed his head out of the way of a beam of light. Light speed sneezes, everyone.
And despite his headstrong and irritating personality,
AKA screaming at the top of his lungs as often as possible.
Asta's an intelligent fighter who has leveraged his skill against far more experienced foes.
But he wouldn't be anywhere without the ragtag band of deviants he calls friends. With them at
The
his
power
side,
of friendship.
there's no way he won't
Again.
climb the ranks to take the Wizard King's throne. Especially with Yuno pushing them both to get stronger.
Unlike other classic shonen rivalries, this one isn't tainted by antagonism. They truly want what's best for each other, even if they're competing for the same throne.
Yuno's gonna need all the luck he can get, cause even if Asta never gets mana of his own, his true magic is never given up.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp.
We did this
Life
already.
can be overwhelming, and many people are burned out without even knowing it.
Symptoms can include lack of motivation, feeling helpless or trapped, detachment, fatigue, and more.
Working on a show like Death Battle every week definitely wipes me and Wiz out once in a while. Remember that one time you had to research Madara's 5D chess plan and you keeled over during the show?
All too well. Thanks for reminding me.
No problem, best buddy.
We associate burnout with work, but that's not the only cause.
No,
Any of our
not
rules in life
BetterHelp.
can lead us to feel burned out, and
I was
BetterHelp
thinking
Online
Mint Mobile.
Therapy wants to
They
remind
use
you
similar
to
fonts and
prioritize
shit.
yourself. Talking with someone can help you figure out what's causing stress in your life.
BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to.
It can be more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours.
Death Battle viewers get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/deathbattle.
That's betterhelp.com/deathbattle. All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
Give it up for our 26th World Martial
Sword that big? He's gotta be crazy strong. I'm gonna have to rely on more than just my power to take him down.
Deku! And the Black Magic Knight, Asta!
Just gotta hit him really hard.
Begin!
Man, this guy can give even Luck a run for his money.
The Lightning Kid.
Aren't swords supposed to be sharp? His speed isn't slowed by his sword's weight at all. Gotta hamper his movements and get that book out of his hands. Huh? He found me! Now it's my turn.
Wait! Are you not using magic? What kind of magic emperor would I be if I can't beat a guy like this? Detroit Smash!
Nice! I was wondering why that shit was on his knuckles.
Detroit Smash! Detroit Smash! I don't know what Detroit is, but I've had enough of it. I'm ending this quick! Hit me with all you've got, because I'm never going down!
No use not going all out anymore. I just gotta hit him really hard.
You wanted my best? Here it is! 1,000,000%!
I loved it. Smashed the shit out of him.
I did it.
Take that, Detroit.
Nope.
Final round as Asta takes on last year's reigning
Nope.
champion, Mr. Satan!
KO!
Gear shift never came into play. Asta has no way of countering that. Gear Shift would have stopped Asta or slowed him down. So the swords can, but he can still slow the swords down. Like, no. It is rare I disagree with their outcomes. This is one of them. No. No.
Poor Deku. He tried his best, but Asta just shoved him into that great big locker in the sky.
Both Deku and Asta were fairly evenly matched melee fighters without any specific abilities to give one an easy edge over the other.
Gear Shift!
To be fair, the variety of quirks Deku inherited from past users of One For All did make him more versatile and unpredictable.
Plus, quirks are biological mutations, not connected to some supernatural energy source like mana, so Asta's anti-magic powers were basically useless here.
And Deku was generally a smarter and more tactical fighter, but against Asta's incredible might, this time Brawn beat Brains.
Let's crunch
They're matched
some
in
numbers.
strength.
Deku's greatest feat of
Maybe-
strength was splitting that enormous cloud formation with Bakugo.
By measuring the size of the island and comparing it to the clouds above, we can determine they dispersed over 63 trillion kilograms of water.
That's the weight of the Great Pyramid of Giza. 12,000 of them.
And required an energy of nearly 80 teratons of TNT per punch.
Let's compare that to Asta. But Toli's spell was going to be strong enough to vaporize a country the size of the Clover Kingdom.
We can use this map from the manga to estimate the size of Clover Kingdom to be about 500 kilometers in diameter, about half the length of Great Britain. Vaporizing a country of that size would require an energy of over 480 teratons of TNT, over 6 times greater than Deku's punch.
While Asta uses
Okay, that's a punch as
anti-magic,
opposed to
it
using
isn't an
anti-magic.
automatic counter and needs to be comparable in strength to the spell it's combating. And Asta's gotten way stronger since.
Asta was also quicker. Sure, scaling to Shigaraki would give Deku
See, I'm a-
roughly light speed.
I'm gonna agree with more mobile in flight because Deku just has float, and he has to have locomotion to go with it. He's more tactical and wider array of powers, yeah. I don't know about being slower, and he can actually safely access his powers, like, yeah. And it says swords beat punches and kicks. Not if the swords are blunt when they strike something. He can literally just encounter. His body's built to... They said it themselves. When not striking a magical foe, or something of magic, it's a blunt force. Punching is a blunt force. So, when he's fighting and blocking someone with super strength, he can block and counter. Block and counter. Block and counter. That's bullshit. Yeah, I'm using my expertise as a former fighter on this one. And I actually know a bit about physics. I have a degree in it. I mean, it's an associate's degree, but it's still a degree because... And he's like, better ways to predict movements. Okay, nah. I'm going to have to agree to disagree, but... And my cat still wants to come in. But, yeah. They left out Gear Shift. They left it out. They said that Asta's faster. How are you faster than me when I can literally slow you down? Or speed myself up. Or speed myself up while slowing you down. Every time I connect with you, I'm slowing you down. No.
Reaction time.
But Asta could dodge light in his sleep, and that's his base form, even before transforming with Liba to get way faster.
And since Deku and Asta's precognitive abilities more or less matched each other, it was only a matter of time before Asta simply overwhelmed him.
Especially since Deku has struggled in the past against faster opponents. Sure, Deku was smarter, but if he literally didn't have enough time to come up with a plan of attack before getting hammered, his brains were wasted.
Deku's tactical brilliance and harem-scarum tenacity definitely gave his opponent a run for his money, but Asta's raw power, blinding speed, and deadlier weaponry spelled the end for All Might's pupil.
Deku gave it his all, and I wish he had won. Hasta la vista.
The winner is Asta.
Like I said, I don't agree.
Hey, if you want more Death Metal ASAP, why not grab a membership? You'll get exclusive emotes, badges, live chat, live streams, and a bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff. Just click that join button.
I might do Sauron versus the Lich King. Yeah, you guys know I do my predictions ahead of time. I try not to watch them ahead of time so that you can get an honest reaction. Okay, rules of death battle. Combatants have no prior knowledge of each other's abilities, unless specified. All restraints are removed. All restraints are considered. Alright, I get that. But they still didn't use gear shift. They didn't use gear shift and his kinetic thing. Those two would have blown Asta out the fucking. I don't care. As I said, I work with physics. If you in Naruto, it's the technique that Tsunade teaches Sakura, that Sakura teaches her daughter, where you build the power in your fist and then strike, and at that point of impact, you release it. They call it Black Flash in Jujutsu Kaisen. I call it the God Fist. And my book, Battle World, which I'll talk about, well, I'm not going to talk about, but, there's going to be a link down below for it. That's what I call it. And Battle World is pretty much a love letter to anime people, because I love anime. I just referenced a mass of them. Not a mass, but a few of them. But that actually reminds Asta's new form. And as I said earlier, I'm not completely caught up with everything. But Asta's form reminds me of, I have a character named Dakarin, who, another one of my books is The Half-Blood Warrior. Very similar. And I wrote that without prior knowledge to Asta. But what's going on with him is what I'm actually going to have happen later on. So, yeah. I'm actually working on a manga with a friend of mine. Shout out to Sino. I got you, baby. I'm doing the story. He does the art. So, that's one thing we're working on. When that comes out, I will be putting promotional shit down in there. I'm going to put panels up so you guys can see. But that's my reaction to it. You see, I do not agree with what they said, and I'm showing why I don't agree. And they're not talking anything about gear shift, and they didn't talk anything about built the kinetic thing where he builds the power. Because every point he moved, that would have been building power, and he would have smashed him and smashed it. Asta doesn't have that. Like yeah, not happy. But hitting the like, subscribe button, hit the notification button, and the bell that lets you know when I upload a new video, and also pushes my content out to a wider audience. And I'm trying to educate, entertain rather, as many people as I can. So hopefully, if you're new to the channel and you find this entertaining, you hit the like, subscribe button. But what we're gonna say is, down in the description box below, as I said, there's going to be links to my merchandise, to my shop for my merchandise, and the books that I have published as of late. I still got 6 books I'm trying to publish, hopefully by next year. I took a year off from writing, and because I got busy with work, but now I'm trying to get back into it, and I'm doing multiple things at once. I'm trying to get them all so I can push them out and be like, yeah, read my stuff. And as I say that, Tales of Adventure, the first story in there is The Half-Blood Warrior. As I said, I'm turning that into a manga. The manga is going to be different than what you find in the novel, because I'm changing a few things up, and I'm elaborating more on things, and you can see cool art styles, and it's going to be a different story, but hella fight scenes. But in the meantime, between time, I'm going to catch you with these peace signs. I'm King Sway. And I'm going to catch you in the next one. Shout outs to my man Mark, the little black dude. As I said before, check out At Home of the Geek. That's my man. Tell him King Sway sent you. Later.